Well, hello? Well, let's see. The primary reason for this is I'm trying to get a new MGTOW to have a discussion. He said he was interested in a debate and or debating certain topics and certain interests, and offered this up. I've told others that I was planning on doing a hangout here within the next few days, and well, here we are. Here is the link to there we go. Wow. That was playing funny games with my eyes. There's a direct invite to him. Come on, Martha. Alright, well, one of the issues with Martha is, well, he is a elderly gay man. He came across a video of mine that involved gay marriage and men's rights. So, since you got that, you started asking me questions about MGTOW, and effectively realized that he was a gay man who wanted to go MGTOW. And for some of you who wonder how a gay man could possibly go MGTOW, think of this. How many times have you seen a woman using a gay man as an emotional tampon? How many times have you seen women go and use gay men for drinks or food, or someone to actually go and spend money for them to go out and see a movie without ever having to worry about having to repay them or pay them through sex or intimacy? If you want to talk about the perfect emotional tampon for a woman, that is a gay man. So a gay man who is going to stand up and tell the women to fuck off and to get their own damn life, that would be a gay man choosing to take the red pill and going MGTOW. But anyways, I am hoping he will join, as I hope most others will. Let me go and post this elsewhere. Really? All right. Now, we've covered that gay men can be MGTOW, and we also have the gay men have the same issue of women invading their spaces. Women go to gay bars, they go to gay events, they invade their space. Some of them, there are still manginas and white knights amongst gay men. And there are different types of gay men, and a lot of this has to deal with what they will and will not put up with when it comes to women. The more effeminate the man, the more he is willing to put up with bullshit from women. Some of this I wasn't fully aware of, and some of this I had no clue there was anything like this, to be honest. But we find ourselves in a similar struggle. We find that it doesn't matter if you're straight or gay when it comes to the sexual dynamics of men and women. we're still caught in the same trap. We're still expected to be emotional tampons. And for gay men, it's just that much worse. They know that they're not going to get anything. And I would also go and venture to think that a lot of the gay men that are willing to go and put up with a lot of this shit from women are willing to go and put up with this shit from women because they're not actually gay. They're bi, and they're hoping that if they just get in that friend zone, they can convince a woman that she might be able to turn him straight. I'll be honest, sometimes I think that might actually be one of those things, one of those issues, where there is still the whole pussy worshipping bullshit. We are seeing people coming in from outside of MGTOW and trying to split us apart, trying to go and create chasm after chasm. And what we need to do is pull together as men and realize it doesn't matter what your background is, you're still treated the same way. The same things are still expected of you. If you're gay, all that means is even more is expected of you because you're expected to be manly for the woman without ever having to go and demand sex or intimacy while also being an emotional tampon. That just does not sound pleasant to me. It really doesn't. But for anyone who would like to join, great. Comment, join in. I really want these hangouts, not really to be like Dimitri tries to go and make it like a special thing. I personally like the idea of these hangouts being constant and people moving in between different hangouts, spreading ideas. I like that. I do. It's what we need. We have people going and making videos, yes. And I'll be honest, I try to watch as many videos as possible. But with the sheer, and at one point in time, you could spend a day or just a couple hours and get through all of the new MGTOW content that was generated over the course of 2 or 3 days. We have now grown to the point where it would take you a week to go through all of the MGTOW content developed per day. That is one hell of a flip. That is one hell of a growth rate, and that has just been in like the last 18 months. So I don't know what else you could call that. I mean, we have gay men joining MGTOW against women. You know there's an issue there. I never thought I would see that day. But here we are. If there was anything I could say about that is I wish this had happened 15 to 20 years ago. Not because it would have saved me, but because this is happening now that we are so close to Western civilization collapsing and all of us getting stuck in it. I truly believe that if MGTOW had occurred earlier, civilization itself could have been saved. Hell, maybe we still can save it. Who knows? I know I'm a dreamer. I know. But nothing else. We have already changed everything. The impact we have already had has created a ripple through across the world, an idea. We have truly rippled an idea and spread it faster than the Romans spread Christianity. Think of how impressive that actually is. We have spread this idea faster than the idea of feminism. Now, that is something to be proud of. That is an accomplishment. Hmm. Man, what could we have done? Eh, it's nice to dream, isn't it? I was just talking to Cryptor, Wizard, and a couple others a little bit ago, and we were discussing a number of things as to different scenarios that we could be facing in the future, and that's kind of why I guess I'm going on this tangent. We cannot fail. As MGTOW, we cannot fail. We have already succeeded. I just recently found out, like over the last couple of weeks, I haven't done any videos or podcasts or hangouts or anything. I was sick, and then I lost my voice, and well, and I've been looking around, so I've been able to watch more videos than I had been, and a large number of MGTOW or new MGTOW are under the age of 22. Think about that. We are not preaching MGTOW to a 50-year-old. Well, we kind of are. We're preaching it to whoever wants to listen to it, basically. But we are reaching the teenagers. We're reaching the 20-year-olds. We have already had a 13-year-old MGTOW who made quality videos. We are debunking everything. We have forced the truth to the surface. You could say, well, the MRA played a part. Yeah. Well, the MRA played a part. They would have been playing a part in showing these advances very early on. And for those that actually that think a voice for men is going down the tubes, no, they're growing, and that's not a bad thing. Um, but we're not giving MGTOW to Elon. Sorry, Paul. I respect him for what he has done, but you do not own MGTOW, and MGTOW do not marry. That simple. And that is one of those things that I believe we all agree on. But yes, if anyone would like to join, please do. I have left links. I'll go and post up again on Google Plus. At least public. Anyways. A general fellow governing County. Question mark. Okay, what is the question mark for? You question what? What are you looking for? Okay. Well, I am glad to see that Todd Reinhardt is getting a little more notoriety. I believe the mayor of MGTOW had mentioned him in a recent video. By the way, Mayor, I'm going to be picking up a tent or two here in the near future for your project. If you watch this, if you could send me an address or something I can mail it to, that would be great. But yes, I fully support the whole MGTOW outreach project, and I don't see any downside to it. I really don't. What is the downside to helping your fellow man? If you have the ability to go and do something, no matter how small it is, why not do it? See, I don't know if we're going to go and set up a huge nonprofit or something like that. I don't know if we're going to go and do that. But what we can do is we can run GoFundMe campaigns. We could run Kickstarter campaigns. We could donate what we want to a cause. We just put in like a minimum donor amount, or like a project goal, right, of being like $1 or something like that. So every month we could go and do this, and whatever funds are there, those funds can go to whatever project or food or anything for the MGTOW outreach project that is being organized by the mayor of MGTOW. Yeah, that kind of just rambled around a bit. But seriously, we can do this. I'm not talking that, oh, you have to go and donate. No, if you want to do something, go ahead. If you don't. But if you do, all it is good publicity for us. It prevents them from calling us a cult. I mean, seriously, how the fuck are we a cult? Seriously, we're not saying, here, give us money and we'll save your eternal alien spirit or whatever. I mean, seriously, L. Ron Hubbard. Well, I guess it's just as good as the next thing. No, we have plenty of things that we can do. What was it? Inside of 48 hours, MGTOW built up $750 towards a man's legal fund, in which his own Kickstarter campaign that was advertised on the news, right, over the course of like 4 months, it generated $322 or something dollars or something like that. And in the span of 2 days, MGTOW donated $750. I mean, are we expecting tens of thousands of dollars? No. But every little bit helps. It helps a man fight his fight. And every man's fight, we have to start thinking of as our fight. We have to move beyond our base and biological programming to automatically compete with our fellow man. And we have to override that to help our fellow man, to side with our fellow man, just like women do. Women have that innate biological tie that draws them all together. And because of that, they have this group think that if one woman thinks it, that means all women think it, which means no one can be held responsible. We are men. We don't do that. We believe in personal responsibility. So that's not going to be the issue. But we need to start siding with other men. We need to, it could be as simple as maybe helping some guy change a tire. I don't know. We can all do our thing, and in the process go and protect ourselves from those who would slander us. Because the knives are out and they're coming for us. They're coming at us from the churches. They're coming at us from the circles for the Wiccans. They're coming at us from the dark corners of society. They're coming at us from the media. They're coming at us from our legislatures. They're coming at us from all directions and trying to put their agenda on us and then attack us at the same time. We are growing very, very fast, and as such, we need to be mindful of that fact. And support each other. Also, as MGTOW, we are taking record of women's behavior. We are taking note of every story we can find about women's true nature, how they behave, how they raise children or lack thereof. We expose the truth. We publish CDC results and findings, and we put it out there in the internet. We put it on Google+, we put it on through YouTube, we do videos on it, we put it on Facebook, we put it on Twitter, Tumblr. We are exposing the lies with the light of truth. We're doing something no one else has ever done. I mean, dear. How I don't get it. I mean, how could this happen, or how could this not happen? I should ask. With the advent of the internet, with the ability of giving men the initial anonymity to express their true feelings and experiences without having to feel as though they are being shamed. That ability right there, that ability to remove the fear of shame so that we could actually communicate, allowed us to create what has become MGTOW. Which is why the whole doxing thing is horseshit. That is cutting out the heart of what created this phenomenon in the first place. This brotherhood arose because we could talk and we didn't see color. We didn't see religion. We saw what each of us had been through. We had seen that we had all dragged ourselves through the same mud. And that knowledge of a shared experience, maybe not in person, but in spirit, draws us together and gives us a strength that you don't see amongst women. That is a strength we have that women do not. They make up stories of rape and persecution. We share our experiences and we discover we all experience something very similar. In a way, I guess you could say that that was true of women. But with them, you never know, because if one woman says it, usually a good percentage of the rest will agree with her. But we as men, we have created something that it's a brotherhood. It really is. Just like brothers, we will fight. We will fight, we will bicker, we will punch, we will knee. But at the end of the day, we are still brothers. We have still suffered. We still have to face the same challenges, the same plight. And in that, we once again find strength in each other. I mean, dear God, this one idea has unified men across the planet. This one idea has sent a ripple effect that we will see now for generations, because the younger men have adopted it. They have seen with their own eyes what has happened to us. And they have decided that that is not the path that they will take. I honestly cannot imagine a greater sight. For me, anyways. Because as I was going through all the bullshit, the only thought I had was, I don't want my younger brother to go through this. I don't want my cousin to go through this. I don't want my neighbor's kid to go through this. And now they are choosing not to. We have already had our effect. Those looking for the historic moment, look around. This is it. This is history in the making. This is a watershed moment amongst men. From this point on, nothing will ever be the same. Take pride in that. And take pride that you are currently part of a historical event that will affect the human race for generations. Wow. When you think of it that way. We're revolutionaries. And we are. This is not a revolution, a political revolution. This is a revolution of thought. A revolution of perception. What can we accomplish with the blinders off? It just makes one want to... I remember when second wave MGTOW... Oh, come on, really? You're not going to let me see that? Alright, let's see if I can pull that up. I really want to read that. MGTOW. I remember when second wave of MGTOW was getting off the ground, it was only like 10 men, if that many. Now it's thousands. Yes, 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 it is. And it wasn't that long ago. Well, it depends on what you mean by second wave MGTOW, because we can trace the concept of MGTOW back to the Babylonians, dude. We really can. Uh, we can trace MGTOW back in parallel with no fault divorce, but it has never had an effect like it has now. It has never been across international lines like it has now. Roman Empire, yeah, they maybe a couple of people would talk about, but most of them wouldn't even talk about it because they still had that whole cultural machismo thing. It was still limited. That is not the case for us. We have exploded. We have found a way to break our evolutionary chains and just, man, we are now in control of our own evolution. With our knowledge base of epigenetics growing and knowing what environmental factors changes and affect what genes, within 10 years, there is no reason why any of us should not be able to guide our own personal genetic evolution with the amount of knowledge we are gaining. I mean, we are just now, only as MGTOW are we looking back at the last 200 years of social research. 200 years of social research. And looking at it from a different perspective, and because throughout time we're always looking, well, how come this is happening? Well, we can't explain as to why this is happening with this birth rate and this group of people. Now we can. We are now looking at this from a point of view that actually explains all of this. We see articles from the 1800s about how feminism is oppressing men. How in the 1920s, how alimony destroys men's lives and destroys the lives of children. We are now uncovering all of these articles, all of this information, on all of this data, and putting it together, and we are gaining 200 years of social knowledge in just in less than a decade. And this knowledge is effectively concentrated in the MGTOW community. That gives us an immense amount of power. That knowledge. Now, how are we going to use that knowledge? Some of us have argued, myself included, of the concept of ghosting and leaving society. But now that I'm looking at all of this data, I'm starting to think maybe we can guide society. Maybe we can change it. Maybe we can undo things because of this greater understanding that we are now gaining. It sounds creepy, but I know this for a fact. Many women have been talking about this very thing for many decades. I have witnessed some of this firsthand. But the numbers never added up. It never lined up. They could never get their theories to work out. And they couldn't explain why. They still cannot explain why. We know why, collectively. We can go through journals and go and find all the different hormones and all the emotional and mental triggers. We can go. I mean, that alone just gives us a huge amount of knowledge right there and a lot of power. I mean, if you can control that, I mean, we could influence just by making subtle changes at certain points. We can now change the outcomes because we have now seen this effect. Are you aware that outside of the MGTOW community, knowledge of the Calhoun rat experiment is minimal at best? We now know what happens within certain societies given certain parameters that nobody else is paying attention to. You want to talk about a social engineering project? We can do what the feminists could never do. But will we? Will we ghost? Or will we control cultural evolution just like we will be controlling our own personal evolution? I don't know. I would have to say that as our numbers grow, it's going to be inevitable. As our numbers grow, the odds of a MGTOW getting into office or getting into a position to affect regulation or policy, the odds are in our favor, and it will happen. It is effectively unavoidable. It will happen. So how will we do it? That is something I think we need to start discussing. We have grown that fast. I mean, I would like to say that we would do an amazing job. We would do better than anybody else. I mean, I'd like to say that. I don't know if I can. We need to get past all the petty bullshit, like now. We need to have the understanding that we're not going to always agree on everything, but we have to have these core beliefs. In that sense, you could call it the religion. But I say it's being prepared because we know it's going to come. We know what's going to come. We've seen it before. We've analyzed it. We've made videos about it. We have seen these patterns in the 19th century. We've seen these patterns in the 18th century. We've seen these patterns in the 20th century. Now we're starting to see the beginnings of these same patterns in the 21st century. In our own brotherhood, affecting all of us. We have the ability to control this. We have the knowledge. Let's apply it. We don't have to apply it on a grand scheme or as one giant organized thrust. All we have to do is apply it individually. And the cumulative effect will have the desired effect. Does that mean you go out and make videos? No. It could be you go out and you take a MGTOW sticker and you put it up in a public bathroom somewhere. Could be something just that simple. Todd Reinhardt even came out with a media packet for those very things. If you want, I think I have a copy. Yeah, I have a copy of it on my computer. If you like, I can probably post it or whatever, and you can download it yourself. But these are things we can do. And I mean, all you have to do is take these little stencils and decals over to a print shop. $10 here, $15 there. You have yourself a bunch of flyers. You got stickers. You got stencils if you want to go out and tag a bridge. Well, over here in Detroit, I've already tagged them. Well, one. No. Doing little things like that will have a cumulative effect. And that can and will shape the future. I don't see why MGTOW can't change MGTOW Lifesaver. I don't see why MGTOW can't change society. Feminism has. Yes, it has, and it has changed it. Well, we all know how it has changed it. It's unforgivable. But with feminism, I honestly think it's just kind of weird because we got, we have a case now that feminism came out, it lied, and now it's being exposed. And all these women, including my landlord, who is openly admitted as being a gold digging bitch from hell, they want their easy life. They want their traditional marriage. That is what they want. See, she is now actually kind of become a MGTOW emissary. She actually goes out and bitches at women saying that they are fucking for the rest of them. I think it's funnier than shit. But but that shows you but yeah, I just think it's funny. We now have women that are MGTOW emissaries because they are bitching at other women for fucking up a good thing. And enter the trade cons or conservative. It's not it. Nah. But that is what is going on. And we have to be conscious of this. The women that are coming back, they're not coming back because they're nice. They're not coming back because they care about you. They're coming back because you are taking your assets away from them. They are coming back because they want access to what you can provide. Some women are more honest than others. See, she will go and say that around me, but did she ever say anything like that around either of her husbands? Nope. I tried to warn them. I tried to warn both of them. Did they listen? No. But it turned out that she wasn't that horrible. Yeah, she cheated on him. But she never went after them for anything. No child support, no alimony. In that sense, you could call her a Nawalt. But she doesn't like the idea of alimony because that's not her money. She just wants a man to go and give her all the money, a house, and everything she wants. She wants to be a housewife. That is her dream. And every other woman that's like her wants that dream, and they're now bitching at these other women, and we now see, I am not a feminist, or I don't need feminism. No. They're doing that because they're feeling the pinch. Women over in Japan are sure as hell feeling the pinch. Women over here in the States are starting to feel the pinch. Oh yeah, everywhere. But it is just amazing as to how quickly we have grown, how much power we truly have, and how much power we wield simply by wielding the power of taxes. Taxes, man. I mean, seriously. Men pay 82% of all taxes collected in the United States. 85% of all tax money collected is given to women collectively. If that is not so we have 3% of all the taxes collected being collected from women that is now going back to women. Can we get that number up to 60%? 100% maybe? I like that idea. I like that 100%. You know, I was thinking of doing this for an hour and a half, but this is at, wow, yeah, I'm about 50 minutes. I don't know. Unless someone else is gonna join in, I think I'm probably gonna go and call it a night in a little bit. Oh yes, I really wish someone else would join in. I mean, MGTOW Lifesaver. I mean, if you have a mic and a photo, that's all you really need. Yeah, I was thinking of doing this for an hour and a half, but yeah, so it's a delay of like a minute, no, 90 seconds. So yes. Anything over here? See, that's one of the things I'm kind of worried about, though. I don't know if any of this is getting caught and sent to spam or. I got this feeling that there's something in spam. Well, okay, that is spam. Okay, that I can understand. Anyways, but yeah, I've seen a lot of things about what are MGTOW supposed to do. We fight, we resist. That's one of those things of being MGTOW. Before the article, the Exodus, I was all for staying in the shadows. I really was. I was all for ghosting. But after that article, we got so much exposure so damn fast, and everyone jumped on us. We have to say who we are, what we are, and we have to show what we're doing with it. We have to show boats, houses. See, I'm just now getting on my feet. But as I'm getting on my feet, believe you me, I'm gonna be posting photos and shit like the Grand Canyon, other trips, enjoying my life. We all go our own way in our own way. If that means you go out and earn $20 billion, do it. But me, I'm gonna have a series of properties across the country and travel in between them. I want to get my pilot's license, and if ever possible, I want to get my rotary aircraft license. Yep, those are my dreams. That is what I am going to do. I have a plan to do it. I have to get past a couple of obstacles, or I gotta overcome a crap ton of obstacles to get to that point. But I gotta overcome a couple of obstacles in the immediate future and then make those steps. I have it planned out. I know what I have to do, and I'm doing it. And step by step, I want to get to my destination. But we have to be seen in doing this now. This is no longer we have to do it in the shadows. This is I'm going to do what I'm doing, and I'm gonna have a 2015 Shelby GT 500 Super Snake. I mean, uh, you do it. You show the other men what they can have. You are the escaped slave that brings word of freedom. That actually came from Bill Maher from a stand-up thing he did. What was it, like 15 years ago or something like that? I mean, I'll be honest. I honestly believe that the government is terrified of men becoming independent. That is why I don't know how many people here ever played penny stocks, but at one time that was actually how I was eating from month to month. I was playing penny stocks, and yeah, you win some, you lose some. Yeah, I won a hell of a lot more often than I lost. But now, thanks to the Dodd-Frank bill, the Consumer Protection Act, you cannot invest into penny stocks unless you have, you're going to love this, $25,000 in your investment account. Dude, if I had 25 grand, I would not be investing in penny stocks. I'd go with a much safer return rate. Probably it says here about 15% instead of talking like a 30 to 40% daily jump. I think I'd rather take the safer 15% route at that point. Well, no, I mean honestly, as long as you go and you actively trade at a rate of 20%, like an earned rate, earning a rate of 20% after any fees. You're only like, was it 32 trades away from like $5 million if you start at 5,000. But yeah, as long as you earn a rate of 20%. But if you're gonna do that, it's much easier to They get there starting from 25. I mean, what do you want to talk about? I mean, we have articles coming out daily of women killing their children. What was this one bitch? She went and killed her kid with salt. She shoved so much salt down this kid's throat, his organs shut down. What the hell? And now we still have this Jodi Arias bitch. Her trial is still going on. Oh, wait, no, it's not her trial. It's a retrial of her sentencing. Dude, fuck you. This bitch needs to die. No, I want her to get that nasty lethal injection that they had. Where was it? Where they had the guy who was sitting there flopping around like a fish, burning from the insides out. I actually want this bitch to experience that, knowing that's how she's dying. Yeah, I have some medieval traits in there.
Trial of her sentencing. Dude, fuck you. This die.
Man.
So I want her to get that nasty lethal injection.
Yeah, unless I get like some messages or texts, I'm gonna end this early. I was planning on doing this for an hour and a half. Yeah, I'll give it. I gotta let that. All right, can't Joinka keep freezing up? Yeah, it happens. It sucks. That blows.
Yeah, unless I get
Yeah, I'm gonna be honest. I've been thinking about doing some more videos. I got some more software I've been playing with, so I can do more videos like my old ones. And I'll be honest, I really liked it. I really enjoy doing those kinds of videos. But I don't know what else I can really do at this point as far as those videos. I don't know. I don't know if I want to go and do those videos again. It's probably they're going to be much more rare. And they're all going to be science based. I'm gonna in the background. I'm probably most likely gonna have a slideshow of the text or the actual reports, or where you can find all the information yourself. If I want to get, I'm really wanting to get back into doing those videos, but it has to be science based. I'm now of the thought that we are going to end up guiding the future, as just as a result of as to how quickly we have spread. Yeah, it's I don't know how much more of this I can really stand though. A bunch of these MGTOW videos about women in the media and what's going on, and then all the videos about all the infighting. It's irksome. It's just really irksome. It bothers me. It shouldn't be there. Some of this stuff just shouldn't even be an issue. The shit from Paul Elam is. I don't know how much more of this I can. But we are growing. We are actually a lot of the people that are going to A Voice for Men See, I believe we actually have to have a MGTOW presence on A Voice for Men. A true MGTOW presence on A Voice for Men. And we need this because as of right now, A Voice for Men is still a recruiting tool for MGTOW. They go there, they see a number of MGTOW comments, they look up MGTOW, and then they agree with us and go from the MRM to MGTOW. And from what I've seen this happen a couple times in less than a day. So they have to, in a way, they're good for us when they're there, but we need to own MGTOW. We need to determine and define a core of what it is, and that no marriage is definitely one of those core principles. I understand a lot of the arguments is part of this hashing out of what is MGTOW, and this is part of the process that needs to happen. And I accept that. I don't like it, but I know it has to happen. But I plead that others accept it for what it is, acknowledge it for what it is, and spread the word of what it is so that it can stop tearing us apart. We need to, we need to go and separate the argument from the person. And for all of us, this is actually a very emotional thing, and that is going to be difficult to do, but we need to do it. I don't think making videos about women in the media and other things that are emotionally driven would actually help with any of that. However, making videos about effectively social controls and cultural controls, I think that would be more beneficial to us as a brotherhood and as a community. Yeah. But yeah, we need to go and hash this out. We need to have these discussions. We need to have these arguments. But we need to finally codify, in a sense, a core of what is MGTOW, and anything else that can be attached to it is just your own personal flavor. We need to start viewing it as this. I believe. I think that is probably the way that we're going to be the most successful. But we also need to have, because this will help allow us to have a self-correcting factor, where if one person or one group of MGTOW start going off to left field, that the rest can try and go and scream some sense. So instead of it being a whole group of MGTOW, maybe it's just one, or maybe all of them go and wake up. I don't know. But these are the conversations that we have to have. We have to bitch this out. But yeah, Paul Elam, Judgy Bitch, no marriage. No marriage at all. Period. But we can have this but we can effectively, in a sense, have our cake and eat it too. We can come up with our crazy theories and be self-corrected without having all the feminist bullshit where, oh no, you can't say that. I'm going. Have a good day. Good night. Au revoir. Auf Wiedersehen. Wow, I just had the sound of music go through my head. Dear God, someone shoot me. Okay. I will see you. Oh, wait, Benson. Holy crap. Wait. Thanks for... Holy crap, I did not see you. I am so sorry. Crap, if I had known you were here. Oh, we can do this. Those what? No, it really isn't so much that. Is I was trying to keep an eye on what was going on YouTube because I was talking to MGTOW Lifesaver kind of through a couple of messages. Any how are you doing, by the way? Nice. Nice. Garden? Yeah, that's actually what I was about to start doing, actually. I have a cabinet I brought up from the basement, and I have some Mylar. So I'm gonna build a starter box for my garden. I talked it over with her, and I have access to like this section of the house that she has blocked off. Basically, it's kind of like a sunroom. So I'm gonna end up building a hydroponic type setup in there. And since it's all glass, I already have a number of solar panels. I can already and a number of deep cycle batteries. The whole thing draws, or at least as I have it designed, the whole thing draws a consistent 110 watts. But yeah, only one of the rabbits survived the winter. I ate good this past winter and got some nifty gloves out of it. But yeah, I got a bag of seeds I'm going through. Me and my daughter are lining it with Mylar, going and drilling the holes and running the hoses tomorrow. Composting tomato planters. No, I actually working. uh, this was I got really stoned one night, and I was outside, and um, I I started haroponics. I started using rabbit and chicken shit, and combining that with a bunch of kitchen waste and certain bits of yard waste. And I've been composting that out back. The city has an empty lot over there. I won't grow anything in the soil, so I got planters and all that. But yeah, I'm gonna end up having portable units of this stuff. They are portable units of 48 inches by 30 inches that I can go and move around in the empty lot over there. So and I already have it checked out. I've already worked it out with a bunch of the neighbors and everything. They were wanting to go and put in a garden, and I warned them about all the heavy metals and stuff and the dirt. And a couple of other people went out and tested the soil, and holy fuck. We actually haven't actually let our kids to go out and play in the yards anymore. It's actually turning into a community thing. We actually convinced a bunch of the people over here to start going and ripping up their lawns to go and plant certain plants and stuff to go and pull out all of the heavy metals and stuff. It's called, the process is called phyto remediation. If you're ever curious about it, it is really cool. You can effectively condition the soil to do whatever the hell you want it to do. So, sorry, I kind of went off on that one, but yeah, we're using aeroponics. Hydroponics I got really good at because of growing weed. Obviously, I'm not doing that right now because I'm waiting. I'm waiting for a couple of court cases that don't involve me. Waiting for a couple of court cases elsewhere in the state to go and pan out before I get back into that because CPS has been having a field day. I'm finally in a place where I can have my kids with me, and I'm not going to give that up. So I'm working on other forms of income at the moment. And if things work out right, if things continue the way they are, I should be able to go and oh yeah. And I'm also working on a project in the basement. Actually, my landlord contracted me to do that one. I'm actually using that contract to go and pay my rent for about 5 months. But I'm building her a aquaponic setup. I'm bringing in some local fish from elsewhere in the state. I gotta well, once I get everything built, I gotta get a buddy of mine and my brother. We're gonna go and head up north of Traverse City, up where the water is still clean, where it's coming out of springs, and getting some fish out of there and bringing them down because you don't trust your average fish out of any body of water. Source your damn water. Yeah, I'm paranoid on this shit. Oh yeah, but yeah, we got rabbits, but only one of them survived. I gotta trap some more. but that's just a trip over to Gander Mountain and $40. Yeah, the kid broke the last trap. So you are a prepper. I am. Oh wait, I probably rather prove things for people. I'm considering floating bedside. Yes, dude, floating bed. I love it. A friend of mine, a bit north of here, up in Northville. All right. He rented out this warehouse space, and he got it cheap. I mean, cheap. He got it at $1,300 a month. All right. He set everything up inside on this like the scaffolding system and anchored it. All right. So he actually on the inside he has 4 floors of growing space. Doing that floating mat thing, and then he has off to the side. He has 2 levels of pebble bed aquaponics. Out of his rent in that place is $1,300 a month. His electricity use, I think he said it was like $900 a month, but except with the total amount of produce he's producing. His revenue that he's actually selling it in the suburbs a little south of here, over in Southgate, and he's pulling in like $16,000 a month in produce. I mean, it is amazing, man. Oh, but yeah, things keep going the way they're going. I'm going to be saving up about $1,500 a month on the side. And I should be able to get my own setup like his, or maybe because it'd be a different area, go back into the medical field. I don't know. But yeah, like 15 to 16 grand a month for food, man. You know what? That doesn't sound bad to me. And that's using floating bed. The pebble bed is for all of his root vegetables like carrots and stuff. So yeah, he grows everything. I mean everything. Oh my God, we actually got him to go since both I and my landlord homeschool because neither of us trust the schools around here. We actually are part of a homeschool network in the area, and we actually were able to go and set up a day thing where all the homeschoolers in the area could go and tour this plant, go and try go and actually eat some of it. I worked it out where they were going and running all the aquaponics, and he was trying to explain that the water going through and feeding the plants is clean. It's not like it's a bunch of dirty poop and all that. It's not going to hurt you, and you could effectively drink it. And all these mothers and with all these single moms are there with their kids going, I don't know about that. So I walk over to the bathroom. I grab a styrofoam cup. I reach over. I grab some water and I drink it. It was amazing. It was hilarious to watch the look on their face. But then a couple of the kids tried it, and they just said, it tastes like plants, and yeah, that's it. Well, actually, a lot of those pumps and systems. It's funny you should mention that. When I was growing weed, I figured out a way to build a weed factory. All it is timing. Um, I was playing around with a number of different designs for LEDs, and what I ended up doing, I don't know as to where you live or if there's any labs or anything like that around you. But what I ended up doing was I ended up going and taking the plants I was planning on growing. I grew them, and I took samples of them over to U of M. I took it over to the lab, and I had the chlorophyll ripped apart. I had it spectral analyzed. We knew exactly what wavelengths that the chlorophyll absorbed and at what rate. So we discovered that by doing that, we only for all these people using like a 1,000 watt high pressure sodium, we only needed to pull 30 watts. uh, that's all you really need is if you know for each type of plant. Well, depending on the type of plant. But yeah, we can run that on less. But if it's like a wheat factory, by keeping you got to keep the pH and everything dead nut. Uh, Heck of a hack. No, I was desperate. No, I was desperate. It we had or I had one chance. I say we. It was me and my kids and my brother at the time. Since a buddy of mine, Rob, he was helping me out with it a little bit with some of the financing and trying to figure all this stuff out. And holy crap, man. But we ended up going and figuring out that you don't need that much power. Even the LEDs that NASA's using right now, those are still general LEDs. Because certain plants will go and absorb light at 450 nanometers in a wavelength. Others will absorb nearly the same wavelength with same wavelength, but it'll absorb at 453 or 447 or something like that. And what most people don't actually realize is you can actually find all of these LEDs on the open market. All you have to do is wire them up to a heat sink and a power source. uh, but you have to know what you're growing. As long as you know as to what the wavelengths are. I even duplicated 270 nanometer light. All right. UVB, man, direct, without any UVA. I got 30% THC and 5% CBD. Not only will it get you high as hell, but it will cure leukemia. Uh, but no, I had contracts with 3 dispensaries. To be honest, selling it legally, I made $5,200 a pound selling it legally. Selling it illegally, I'd get $1,200 a pound. All right, I like legal. But yeah, I started out. Obviously, I didn't have money to go everything in one shop. I ended up working my way through lizard lights, different type of lights, different LEDs. Um, there's a bunch of different stuff. I actually right now I just got done going separating and dehydrating 30 pounds of ground beef. It's amazing that that all of that goes and compresses down into like into two quart-sized mason jars. Yeah, you would. Class A CDL, huh? Ugh. Yeah, I earned mine at New Way Truck Driving School in Pontiac, Michigan. Obviously, I can't do that anymore. But no, for a while I was actually I drove for Werner for a little bit, but then I ended up going and driving a tow truck over in Melvindale as police towing. I go and pick up accidents. I made a lot of money there. Yes, mechanic, you pretty much have. Yeah, yeah, you do. You gotta drive out and fix them on the side of the road, man. I was, I was over on, I was over on 8090 going across Nebraska, and I ended up just dying. Just man, we ended up sitting out there. I was still in training, so the pro was with me, and we were sitting there for like 5 hours, just waiting on someone to show up. And you gotta effectively bring everything necessary to go and fix anything, whether it well, aside from an engine block or an axle or something like that, but you got to be prepared to fix everything. Oh man, that brings back memories. Holy shit, that was fuck. That was 15 years ago, man. Whew. Man. But yeah, I this past summer I ended up going and dehydrating 50 pounds of green peppers, 4 bushels of carrots. Well, that part is always a big challenge. If you don't have, yeah. Yes, but something I learned is that a brown paper bag is actually an acceptable stand-in for a gasket because you're able to compress it. I, I I don't remember that one in any manual. That was an experience. Uh, so I dare ask this: how long had you been watching this this rambling monstrosity of a podcast go on for? well, had chickens. I'm gonna be stuck with this thing for the next little bit. To give you kind of backstory on that one is what we've known each other for over a decade. I've helped her out in the past 3 times. She's helped me in the past once before. Um, so between that and guilting her with my kids and putting my case onto her case, which actually helps me out because my food stamps go from $12 a month to almost $200 a month just by being put on a woman's case. Uh, that and having the kids allows me to have the $10 a month internet. Um, Collectively, my share of all the bills and everything comes to about $800 a month. Her share is $800 a month. We are effectively prisoners of circumstance at the moment. I have a bedroom. She has a couch. That's actually why I have to go and cut off sometimes at night because well, she's trying to sleep and she has to get up at sometimes at like 6 or 7 o'clock in the morning. Um, I can typically sleep. Uh, Honestly, it kind of depends on what's going on. We have a really weird schedule. The kids have a normal schedule. They actually tend to go to bed at around 9:30 is when they're finally out. But because of our work schedule and everything, we are effectively the Brady Bunch from hell. And I've had to deal with her and her boyfriends and her ex-husbands, and she's had to deal with, well, let's just put this, she hates my ex-wife. Um, she is a very admitted and adamant and open, conniving, backstabbing, gold-digging whore. She's actually been on here a couple times explaining that. Uh, we know each other. We're more like siblings. We literally had the same birthday. But yeah, we had chickens. They were actually her chickens. I had the rabbits. She had the chickens. Um, but we're looking at moving over to somewhere else that has more room because we both agree that we can't have our kids here, and so we're getting rid of those chickens and we're tearing down the chicken coop to take it with us, and we already got it worked out with some people in Monroe, Michigan, to pick up 20 Wyandotte chickens. We have 2 cocks and 18 hens. Oh yeah, as far as that is producing a bonus, oh yeah. See, that's actually part of my payment here. Is I'm teaching her how to grow. I'm showing her how to go and build some of these setups so that way she can be self-sufficient. Um, I used to build wind farms. I used to. I miss my old life. All right, let's just leave it at that. She's gaining, and as a benefit, whatever she can gain or whatever benefit she can derive from it, as far as like cash value, that gets deducted from whatever I owe her or have to pay her or anything like that. We actually have a contract. This really isn't like we're helping each other out the best. No, we are both we have a contract, like literally. To ducks. I was thinking ducks. Honestly, I was thinking ducks, and then this past fall, I looked up and I saw Canadian geese flying overhead. uh, I'm gonna be working on a way to trap a few geese, and I'm gonna work on domesticating them. They have Great that we have it on paper. No, we have it on paper because she doesn't want to have to worry about getting hit with palimony at some later time. She's watched all this happen to her own. Her parents are divorced. She watched her dad go through hell, her siblings go through hell. Her mother literally pimped her out and whored her out. I'm not fucking joking. And her mom is one of these psycho whack job feminists who also just so happens to be a microbiologist. So she understands what the threat is, but she understands who she is and what she is. It's weird. Some people have tried to call her a Nawalt. No, she is not a Nawalt. But no, we were looking at geese. I'm looking at a way to go and trap them and domesticate them because when I went hunting and picked some up, I never paid attention to it before, but I realized how much fat that they had. And as far as poultry fat goes, that's some of the best you can get. It gives you like the perfect croissants. I mean, if you want that perfect flaky crust, poultry fat, dude. Honestly, it's actually one of the secrets of French cooking, chicken fat. But I tell you, man, goose works so much better. But yeah, I'm going to be going hunting with. We currently have 2 licenses in the house, so we are actually cleared for 4 bucks. We should, if we're lucky, after processing, we might be able to get 80 pounds of meat per deer. Currently, with our combined preps, we have 18 months worth of food. We have 700 gallons of water. Oh yeah, they will. Actually, I don't have to worry about the slugs. I used carnivorous nematodes. I don't know if you ever come across them. If you go to a hydro store, all right, they will go. They're these little tiny mites, all right. They go and crawl around in the dirt, and they are carnivorous. They attack grubs, slugs, snails, everything that attacks your garden. They kill and destroy. You go to a hydro store and you'll get a little pad with some of them on there, and you go and you soak it, and they will charge you like 25 bucks for it. Or you can go online. Or you can go online and go to Home Depot, right, and buy an entire bucket for 20 bucks. Carnivorous nematodes. All right. I had to use them to fix my gnat problem when I was growing weed. I couldn't do anything to go and get rid of all the gnats that had invaded. I found this actually in an old little advertisement thing a long time ago. It was in an old magazine from the 70s. And then I found out that Home Depot still sold it, but you can only get it online because almost nobody buys it anymore. But if you get it, you go and you put it around in your grass. It kills all of the parasites. It's everything gone, dead. It basically crawls into them and it turns them into a host. They go and lay their eggs and leave. And then the eggs hatch and slowly eat their way out of the host body. So these grubs and everything end up going swelling up and deform and then explode, and that's it. And once there's no more food, all the nematodes go and move off and leave. I also use food-grade diatomaceous earth. I don't know if you've ever used that. But that one works for everything. I actually have a juicer machine that I just got, and I put the DE, or the diet Omaceous Earth in it, and you don't even notice it. Oh, sweet. You gotta have DE there, man. You have to. If nothing else, you go and you put, when you go and you store all your flour or anything, what I use is, because we got all the kids and the food stamps, right? We get a shit ton of these juice bottles, right? So I go and wash it out, and what I end up doing is I end up putting a bit of DE on the very top. That way, if anything ever attempts to get in, it dies. Oh yeah. Collectively, we have. I actually have more silver than she does, but she has more emeralds than I do. She went on the site called Bid for Assets a couple of years back, and they were selling off these 4,000 carat emeralds for like $50. I mean, they actually came certified and appraised at like 75 grand. It's fucking insane, and she had enough money to go and jump on all that. Yeah, except when you're sitting there holding a 4,000 carat emerald, people tend to just go, oh, well, let's see, last year, we didn't get a lot. Last year's growing season sucked over here. Like, we had crop failures all over this entire region. Oh, a bargain? Oh, yeah. Actually, right now, I'm planning out my own MGTOW. I'm actually mapping out what I'm doing and where I'm going to build it. Pricing out the land right now. As far as the equipment, have you ever heard of the site Government Liquidations? All right, give me a second, and I'll get you a link, all right? I almost bought a fucking LCAC for $5, dude. No, sorry, $25. I am not joking. I wish I was. If I had thought it was gonna happen, I would have actually bid on the fucking forestall, dude. I'm not kidding. Dude. If I had honestly thought it was gonna go for that, a penny, a fucking penny. If I had thought it was gonna go for that, I would have fucking bid on that motherfucker. I'd have been an instant millionaire. Here it is, man. I am not joking. Check that thing out. You can go there. I'm working on building a supercomputer as well. They're selling off a whole bunch of laptops and towers and stuff by the half ton. What I'm planning on doing is getting all of the CPUs and hooking them up through a couple servers, which they are also selling. All right, and going and using that and selling and renting processor time to labs and universities. Payable in Bitcoin. But yeah, dude, check it out. They have an entire section for computer and office, man. They are selling laptops right now by the half ton. Oh, we have. I have my dreams. Right now, kind of. When we move, oh yeah. Where we're going to be moving to is a little city with its own power company. At one time, it was actually an Air Force base. So the whole thing is completely independent of everything else in the state. When the rest of the state grid dies, this is the one part of the state that is always lit. I mean, then there's a nuke plant a couple miles south of there as well. The Fermi 2 plant. Dude, oh man. I don't know as to what power is like, oh yeah, actually I wouldn't be worried too much about that one. We actually have a couple people over here in Michigan. They're actually talking about commissioning a lifter reactor. I don't know if you know what a liquid fluoride thorium reactor. They're actually thinking of commissioning one to go and generate enough power to go and compete with DTE, because someone brought up a lawsuit because DTE is currently a state-mandated monopoly. Well, as far as a thorium reactor, as far as containment, it's under high temperature and high pressure. All right. Our current reactors are high temperature and low pressure. And because it is a molten salt, once you lose pressure or containment, it freezes solid. It's just the laws of physics. So there is no real such thing as a possible meltdown or containment breach. It's a totally active system with effectively a passive security for containment. I like it. China's building one. I think someone else is building one. But we actually built one in the 50s, and we ran it for 50,000 hours, going and testing it. So I mean, it's not new. It isn't new tech. I mean, it isn't anything new at all. I mean, this is old technology. It's 60 years old. We just never really applied it because you can't make a bunch of bombs out of its the waste product. Its waste products actually go and produce nuclear medicine. They actually go and produce specific isotopes that we actually use to treat illness. Yeah, no wonder they won't get involved. Oh man, it is currently one of the fuels that it can use, right? Is actually our current nuclear waste is one of the fuels that I mean, you can actually use numerous fuels with this setup. And we have 72,000 tons of nuclear waste being stored in holes and in open air tanks. 72,000 tons using lifter reactors could supply the United States with all the electricity we could ever need for 1,500 years. Open Bazaar, yes, I've been looking into that. See, I'll be honest, I'm also into a number of other cryptocurrencies. I have my own little personal favorite that I keep rooting for, and that one is Noblecoin, but I don't really see it taking off, but I want it to. It's the ideas and the concepts behind it is what I like. I was actually thinking of working on a cryptocurrency Amazon type website, almost like alt outlet. I don't know if you ever heard of that place. But what I was wanting to do is I was wanting to go and set up effectively like a cryptocurrency Walmart where I could accept any cryptocurrency, go and run it through coinpayments.com, where they have the setup where you can immediately convert something into Bitcoin and then into cash, and then go and send it out to all your suppliers and merchants, right? I was actually working on that, and I actually own the name and the website coinsmarketplace.com and .net as we speak. I own that. Yeah, I was originally gonna go and get it set up to try and help out Noblecoin, but other things happened and it had to get put on hold while life got in the way. But I still own the name, and I'm going instead of it being a noble coin market, I want to use all cryptocurrency and actually be able to use it for what it's intended, to actually give it a purpose, and a little just that much more legitimacy and uh, ending the era of fiat, because this is a disaster. This is a true disaster. Dude, the network I love. Have you ever heard of Gridcoin? Just quickly, have you ever heard of it? No? Okay. Gridcoin is another little pet coin of mine, all right? It is a CPU coin. They don't really have an ASIC that could actually work with it, so it's a CPU thing. And what it is that it is a virtual currency that is tied to the advancement of the human race. And I'm not joking about that either. It really is a virtual currency tied directly to the advancement of the human race. It's tied in with the BOINC network. Here, let me see. I donate. I'm not currently mining Gridcoin. I'm still donating my CPU time to labs. Yes, I am one of those guys. I actually do this shit. I've been working on Global Community Grid and Milky Way at Home mainly as of late. But here we go. I'll send you their primary site. You'd be working with Berkeley, the college, right? And what it is what you're. Oh crap! No, that's still government liquidations. Damn it. There we go. Copy. Here we go. But here it is, and it's a virtual currency that is tied into the BOINC network, which is the link I just sent you. So as you donate your time to the BOINC network and you solve the hash problem, right? You earn the if you just mine Gridcoin per hash is 5 Gridcoin, but if you're running in the BOINC network, you can get 100 or up to 150 Gridcoin per hash. But that is as long as you are using your computer to also cure Ebola, to map the human genome, but these are things you would actually be doing. You would actually actively be actively taking a part in advancing scientific knowledge in the human race while building up cryptocurrency. But Gridcoin is tied in with it. I'll send you a link to the Gridcoin thing too. Give me a moment. But when you ever seen any of my videos or anything where I sound like a dreamer or something, where I reach for the stars, I'm not exactly a dreamer. I actually am reaching for the stars. I am trying to do what I can when I can. Here we go. There's the Gridcoin homepage. Copy. Here we go. Ooh, oh, sweet, dude. Okay, I gotta get a new wallet then if I'm gonna do Gridcoin. Haha, sweet. Sorry. Paste. Here you go. What can I say? I'm not a religious nut, but I was raised by 2 Gideons, and to be honest, they are the single most Christian people I have ever met in my life. Note I said Christian people, I did not call them Christian. I hate it when people use Christian in the wrong way. Do you know how It was coined in Antioch. It was originally meant to mean Christ-like, or someone who follows in the teachings of Christ and who would actually live by the teachings. So calling yourself a Christian is actually being boastful, which is not being Christian.
But I was raised by tradition, and to be honest, they are the most Christian people I have ever met in my life. When I say Christian people, I did not call them.
Oh yeah. See, I am not only a grower, but I am also a patient. Yeah, they did. The Gideons didn't. As far as the Christians, it depends on which one. It really does. The Catholics did their part. Lutherans, not not so much. Baptists, well, who can forget Salem? Yeah. But the problem is most of that was left in the past. And when you go and compare religions, I have actually read most of the Quran, and with my parents being Gideons, my punishment half the time was copying down books from the Bible. So it's kind of stuck in there. Yeah, but except what that is generally when you had the combination of the church and the state. When you had the church, when the church was able to wield the power of the state, that is dangerous, and I don't like that. I don't trust that, and that is one of the problems with Islam, because that's one of the issues with Islam, is that the religion is the state. The religion is the politics. And more than that, I mean, even more than that, is Muhammad didn't come about until nearly 700 A.D. Enum Domini. And he would have known all of the sayings and the oral tradition. Why? Because he was illiterate. He couldn't read. That is why the Christians and the Jews were known as the people of the book, because they were literate. They were almost all universally literate. It was amazing. And they knew the story and the teachings in the book of Revelations, which is what I find interesting, is because for the Muslims, their savior is the Antichrist. Their savior is the man who comes and tortures rules for 7 years and murders millions of people. That is their savior. In Revelations, that's the Antichrist. I'm not kidding. He is called the 12th Imam, and oh my God. They are effectively. Now we need to get the bank separated too. No kidding. The bank's gotta get. See, Bitcoin will do that. Bitcoin definitely will. And they hate that. I don't know how much you have paid attention to with some of the new tech coming in with the cryptography. Have you heard of the new advancements in cryptography? See, if Bitcoin ever goes and makes a hard fork, I would want it to go to this type of encryption. It's effectively redneck quantum encryption. All right, you know how, like, if for quantum encryption, if anybody ever even looks at it, right, the very action of looking at it changes its nature. It's one of the weird things of the quantum world, right? Well, this is effectively redneck quantum encryption. If you disturb this photonic encryption, it has the same effect, and the signal never goes through. So if anyone at the NSA ever tries to look at it, it disappears. If they don't have the key, they don't have the original encryption, poof, it doesn't exist at all, ever. NSA go bye-bye. Oh man. But I mean that's one of those things, and we know that the government and China and everyone, they're going to want to try to go and use this in their military, right? They can't, because if you ever want to jam the signal, look at the signal. This only works in an open and transparent society. If you like, I can send you a couple links from Science Daily and a couple other science journals. They really condense it. They go and link you with all the labs and everything. Oh, it is not that much work. Maybe it's because I like the subject. I'm an electrical engineer and closet physicist. But no, if you want, I can send you a synopsis. It really is cool. We're coming up on a bunch of new technology. We may bypass. We really. Yeah. Well, I'm not exactly an idiot. My dad actually was a rocket scientist. He worked on Mercury, Gemini, and Skylab, and actually knew Virgil Grissom and Ed White. He worked for McDonald. But actually, wait a minute. Yeah, it's right here. I actually have the book he wrote right here. If you ever want to go and look it up, if you're ever curious, NASA contractor report, NASA CR-66791. My dad co-authored it with 3 other men from McDonnell Douglas. He worked for him over in St. Louis when they're actually building all this stuff. And what it is Master Agreement Task Order 1: Analysis and evaluation of payload and landing system structures for intermediate type planetary landers. In short, my dad wrote the book on landing on Mars. And my mom was a teacher. So as you can imagine, when I was young, my social life was... But I understood relativity at the age of 9, so I really can't complain about that. I have a registered IQ at Mensa of 165. No, it is not on the same one as that 160 that other kid did. There are different gradients of IQ tests. If I was to take that one, like the Stephen Hawking's IQ test, a liberal, a very holy shit, I'm so wonderful type estimate would probably put me at about 110. All right. But as far as how military school goes, I was damn near off the charts, and with Mensa, I hit 165. My brother beat the shit out of me in both. And then he fried his brain huffing Glade. But no, I've watched a number of your prepper videos, and I like them. Dude, I love your garden, but I would honestly, if I had that much open space, I would have rows of beans and. Oh no! See, Nathan at one time rated. He was actually slated to go and take that Stephen Hawking IQ test, right? He was actually slated to go and take that one because he scored a 183 over at Mensa. A 183, motherfucker. And I mean, this kid had eidetic memory like you would not believe. It was amazing. I mean, I have amazing recall, but holy shit. But no, actually, we are actually currently splitting. I mean, that's the thing. We have actually discovered that thanks to Homo sapien is not the smartest of the apes. That was actually Neanderthal. They were actually the smartest. Our smart gene, the intelligent gene, and we've actually traced this, which is responsible for 80% of all her hereditary intelligence, is literally a Neanderthal gene. Okay? And what is amazing about that? All right, but except what is cool about that is that because of we now understand why the Asians are so smart. They have the highest concentration of Neanderthal and Denisovian DNA. As a result, they as a phenotype, right? That is why you see Asian people all the way from the north, all the way down to the south. They are that adaptable because of all of the interbreeding with the other species. In a sense, they are the most advanced humans on the planet. And they have the highest concentration of these smart genes. Over here in the West, we have, I think, in the States, at one time, we had a 50% saturation rate. I think right now it's like 20%. So we actually are getting dumber. But now that we know what is going on and what to look for, we can actually affect our own evolution, which is really freaking cool. I mean, think about it. If you were to set up an organized breeding procedure, all right, for like selective breeding, and you could select from traits from every phenotype of human on the planet as it stands right now. What could we become? Ultra intelligent athletes that can adapt to any climate, that can flourish at 27,000 feet in the Himalayas without getting winded, just as well as being able to dive 100 or free dive 150 feet in the Med. I mean, dude, what we could do, because we have been able to colonize every section of the globe. We have been able to adapt to every environment available to us. If we were to go and interbreed to bring all the bloodlines back together, we would instantly become the single most advanced species ever. I mean, what we could do with that. I mean, dear God. I'll be honest, I'm looking forward to the artificial world. I'll be honest, the tech is already there. We just need to approve it for human trials. And once we can do that, oh, I promise you, I am on the first trip to start going and like genetically screening eggs from every region of the planet. And then I'm going to go and blow a few loads. I'm going to separate them, genetically screen all the sperm, fertilize, genetically screen all of the blastocysts, and pick and choose from the very best of those. So that way we can go and maintain genetic diversity and not weaken the human population. Well, see that's the thing. I don't want. I don't really like the idea of going in and tweaking with our genetic code. I really don't like that idea. However, I do believe that we should have the right to choose from our own genetic code. See, but I don't like going and tweaking with the DNA. I prefer to go and select of the best of us, and then use a artificial womb to go as a stable environment. Because to be honest, we've never had a single generation or a single person in history to be born without ever having their brain coated in all of the other cortisol and stress hormones produced by every woman on the planet. And we know cortisol actually hinders brain development. The calmer a woman is and the less stressed she is during the pregnancy, the more intelligent the child is, the less brain damage that the child experiences. We've never had anyone who's never been born with that initial amount of brain damage. What could that do? We've never had someone born where there hasn't been a crap ton of pollutants of some sort thrust into their system before they were even born. I mean, that's going from alcohol to even breathing in the smoke from a campfire or from burning dung up in Mongolia or in Africa. We've never had that. I want to see that. I want to see what we could be without all those funky stress hormones. I want to see if we could direct our own evolution, not control it by twerking with our genetic code, but by guiding it. I honestly think that would be the better way to do it. And that doesn't mean that we have to go and sign away our lives to women anymore. Hell, we can actually go and select the genetic code of a man. Because men contain both X and Y chromosomes, guess what? A primordial sperm cell can be turned into an egg. We don't actually need women to produce eggs. We do that. Then we turn the eggs into sperm. This thing demonstrated by my older sister and I. My mom was homeless when she was pregnant with my sister. But with my dad, she was pregnant with me. My older sister is self-centered. Yeah. But yeah, it actually is brain damage caused by hormones. And we know this from scientific studies. Like I was saying earlier, we have hundreds of years of data on this stuff, but we've never looked at it from a MGTOW perspective. And the sick part is, throughout history, we've always been looking at that going, well, that's weird. Well, that's just odd. Well, I don't understand how that can happen, but I guess that's just the way it is. But once you apply MGTOW philosophy to all this old research, it makes sense. We could, in a sense, that with the amount of knowledge we are gaining right now, we know more about how society functions and how cultures function than anybody else in history. If we were to apply this knowledge, we could effectively control the path culture and society takes. And since nobody else is paying attention to any of this information, I mean, why not use it? Yeah, epigenetics. Well, epigenetics is, well, definitely that. See, epigenetics, there's a number of different types of epigenetics. There's genomic epigenetics, there's environmental epigenetics. Like genomics, where if there's a specific thing, like if, let's say you go and move from Seattle to Denver, right? Your genes over a course of a couple months will actually start switching on and off, where your genes to go and tolerate low atmospheric pressure turn on, because that's already in your genetic code, because your ancestors had to cross mountain ranges at some point in time. It's already in there, it just has to be turned on. But yeah, with what we are learning about epigenetics, it is just amazing. For instance, right? Like, see, I already know, with my knowledge of epigenetics right now, I already know I'm fucked. I've already been exposed to so many chemicals, I'm screwed. But at least this body is. But I also understand that every 7 years, every single atom in my body gets swapped out. It's a good thing to know, right? That also, so what that means is that if I change my environment and I change the people that are around me, because it also, if someone is throwing off a certain type of pheromone, all right, you will start actually reacting to that pheromone. That's why adopted children will actually start taking on the traits of their adopted parents. They don't share any of the immediate genetic code. There's not a blood tie there, but the genetic code is already in all the chromosomes, and as a result of being exposed to the adopted parents' pheromones, the adopted children start taking on the adopted parents' traits. I don't know if that makes too much sense. It tends to go over most people's heads. It's unfortunate, but our environments. But that being what it is, if you control every atom that enters your body, meaning you control the entire food chain, or your entire food chain, if you can control that, right? You control the environment you live in. You can, over the course of 7 years, swap all of that out and effectively start with a clean body. Well, to an extent, certain damage, the damage itself is repaired. It's kind of weird. Oh yeah. See, there's for instance, the Aborigines over in Australia, right? They have 0 Neanderthal DNA, like none. And as a collective, as for your normal standard IQ test, they actually score 80 on average. All right. And any Homo sapien, Homo sapien that lacks these genes tends to not go and pick up things very quickly. They're not very adaptable. They're not retarded. But they're not as adaptable. They need a society. They need a structure in order to really exist. I wouldn't say I'm a mechanical genius, but what I would say is that at the age of 10, I built a 3-floor treehouse with running water and electricity. Mostly because me and my friends wanted a place to go and watch porn. Hence the electricity. And the plumbing, we tapped into a city source, because if we're going to be in a treehouse all day going and smoking weed, watching porn, and eating munchies and drinking pop, we're going to want a place to piss. I'm not. Nice. I never got that far. I pretty much top out at electrical engineering. Not electronic engineering, which is kind of what that is. Yeah. I tried looking into getting into electronics, and I was looking at the hardware going and coming down the pipeline. And dear God, I do not have the patience to go and learn nanotech now that I'm over the age of 30. So I'm gonna go and focus my attention into other pursuits that I know I can accomplish. Wait, so you were listening for a while then? Wow, if you had gotten to the part of epigenetics earlier. Seriously though, I mean, how long had you been watching it? No, I'm just curious because I've actually watched a number of hangouts myself, and um, yeah. Oh yeah. I've had a weird life. I've traveled the planet like 4 times. I've been on every continent but Antarctica. 27 minutes. So you missed my earlier rant about gay MGTOW, huh? That was actually why I started this hangout. Someone went to one of my older videos, my gay marriage equals men's rights, or gay rights equals men's rights video, and he had commented on about, well, am I MGTOW? So I kind of explained to him as to my views on MGTOW, and I was hoping to try to get him on as a newly minted MGTOW in his own mind. I was hoping to maybe get him active in the community to try and grow the community. We have enough videos out there explaining hypergamy. I mean, we have enough videos out there explaining that effectively every woman's a gold digger. Expect it. Don't trust a damn one of them. We have enough videos of that. Personally, I would rather see us grow as a community and not just as a bunch of videos and comments. Because as a community, it's more visceral. There's more of a personal touch to it. See, I'll be honest, I agree with the mayor of MGTOW, and I said that earlier. I agree fully. And if he watches this, I want an address to go and mail the tents to when I pick him up. So, I know that we need to grow. I think honestly, the way I see it is that for the most part, we have grown or outgrown these simple videos. I mean, we outgrew that honestly by the time I started last June. But there were some things I wanted to say that I hadn't heard anyone else say before, as far as in the MGTOW community. And there were certain things I wanted to get out there, and that was about it. Why it's gone on for so long, I really don't know. A number of things have come up. I made a number of discoveries, like a lot of our concepts of marriage and alimony and stuff we actually inherited from the Iroquois Confederation. I mean, some of this stuff we inherited from the native tribes and exported to Europe. Some of the stuff came over from Europe and came over here as early as 1730. And we know this. We see it in like the Boston Herald and the National Gazette and all of those. You gotta dig for them if you can find them in the first place, and and from time to time you find them. Like what we call first wave feminism, right? Is a reaction to an overreaction of men. In 1870, men overreacted. Okay, we really did. but you can hardly blame us. We took away a woman's right to own property, being one. We also outlawed all forms of contraception, as another. And we did this because of the Civil War. When early on in the 1800s, in the 19th century, women were gaining more power, especially here in the States, especially in the 18th century. Give an example, women were working in factories. They were earning their own money. They had their own apartments. They were doing their own thing. They've been doing this in Europe for a while. And some of the ones that actually made money would go and pay the money to take the trip to come over here and visit their American cousins and spend a year and a half visiting and then go back with the wonderful tales of the Wild West and the American frontier and the colonies. All right. I mean, the first women being elected into public office was actually in the 1700s, in the 18th century. I mean, come on. The first black man was elected to judge in the on the continent in 1768. I used to say 1770. I used to go and round it up, but it was 1768. But yeah, we overreached because since voting and everything is always tied into property ownership and custody and everything is tied into property ownership, and paying taxes is tied into property ownership. What had happened was when all the men went to war during the Civil War, guess what? The women paid the taxes on the land, meaning the women now owned the land. And then when the men came home, only to find out that there's now a new little baby, and their wife is now kicking them off their land. The next political cycle to come by, 1770, we stripped women's ability to own property because we wanted our fucking land back. Had we, instead of just doing that, had we thought about it a little more, but at the time we didn't, because we didn't have a historical perspective on it. They didn't know everything that happened in Rome. A lot of that wasn't discovered until the 20th century. They didn't have the information that we have now. They just reacted, and understandably so. But what we call first wave feminism was a reaction to that reaction. We want the vote. Well, you had the vote, and you fucked us. You stole men's land. You took their kids. You cheated on them. I mean, this is family land we're talking about. So it was a serious, serious thing when the suffragists and these suffragettes were going and pushing everything. It had actually gotten so bad that they actually protested coffee shops because men were going and meeting in coffee shops. After coffee shops, because it was coffee, it wasn't beer, which was too popular at the time. After they won in the coffee shops, then they went after the taverns. But except we didn't see the temperance movement until the reaction in the 1870s. The temperance movement is actually a direct result of the 1870s, which then later spawned the whole suffragist movement, which then spawned the suffragette movement. The suffragists were the ones that were trying to go, everybody has the vote. The suffragettes were the ones going and doing fire bombings, kidnappings, and murders. But now we say the suffragettes were the good people, and the suffragists never existed. But yeah, we overreacted, and we made contraception illegal. For a long time, that was actually a big thing for women's rights. Because we made contraception illegal, we tied contraception to women's rights. That was our big mistake. That was our huge overreaction, because we tied contraception to women's rights, not men's rights. Can you tell my mom was a teacher and not a feminist? My dad was actually the engineer, and he was the Democrat, and my mom was the public school teacher, and she was the Republican. But yeah, I got to see the whole public school system from both sides. I mean, my mom was making $65,000 a year going and teaching, and they'll go and say that, well, that's not much money. But what they don't tell you is that her total package in the year for her pension or for 401k, her insurance, her life insurance, her attorney fees and everything, the whole package was like $200,000. I mean, it was insane. On average, the package is about $130,000 for your average teacher, but that's your average teacher. My mom had a master's degree, so she got a better package. So don't believe them when they say they're broke. That they're broke because the union argued for more benefits in lieu of higher wages. That's their own damn fault. I mean, dude, it's not only that. The thing is that they don't even have the right to actually go and collectively bargain. All right? I don't know if you were aware of this, but in 1978, Jimmy Carter outlawed. He made it illegal for public unions to collectively bargain, which is the entire point of a union, which effectively means Jimmy Carter made public unions illegal, because a public union can hold the public hostage in order to have all their demands met. But yeah, you can check that out. Jimmy Carter and collective bargaining for public unions. Actually, you know what? I can send you a link. Yeah. But yeah, we even I mean, come on. So much of this stuff has been twisted in our history. I mean, it's not even funny. Yeah, let me get this. Jimmy. Crap. Carter. Public unions. Yeah, Google does not like it. Here we go. Here, first hit. Carter took away Fed bargaining rights. But yeah, it is law. These public unions have no right to exist. Their very existence is a violation of federal law, dude. I mean, it is. This whole thing is just nuts. I mean, I've been told I'm a walking dictionary or encyclopedia, but dude, we've done this whole MGTOW thing like 8 times throughout history, but only now with all. But anyways, getting back to the whole gay MGTOW thing. Originally, sorry, one hell of a tangent. Is that what happens with women and gay men? All right, gay men are the ultimate emotional tampon. Every one of these women have like 7 or 8 gay male friends. They have a gay man to come over and cook them dinner, a gay man to come over and help them clean, a gay man to go and take them out to the movies and effectively take them out on a date without any expectations afterwards. All right, a gay man to go and take her on a camping trip, a gay man to go and take her on a vacation. And you want to tell me a gay man cannot go MGTOW? Fuck you. MGTOW is open to gay men. They are the epitome of the emotional tampon. Or at least that's how I view it. Well, but no, I got a lot of different videos, a lot of different stuff, a lot of different ideas, and as I have shown, I've heard, but I wonder how much that I would. Yes, but yeah. Yeah, I'm not kidding. See, a lot of the Hollywood BS. I mean, this is the part that I don't get. The Hollywood BS is where they go and say, "Well, if you're going MGTOW, why don't you just be gay?" And then these same people are saying, "Well, a gay man can't be MGTOW." Like, really? Uh, but yeah, I mean, these men have been made emotional tampons, but I always find it that it's the more effeminate men that go and identify with women that go and take the side of women. But most of your gay men will generally go inside with other men. They hate this female privilege bullshit more than just anyone else. Straight women invade gay bars. Straight women invade gay campouts, and it's supposed to be okay because they're women. I'm not. I've actually talked to a couple of other gay MGTOW, and it was the stories that they have of these women. For example, one was talking about the story about Burning Man, and about how this straight chick with her kid was screaming about gay rights. And so they asked her, "Well, you gay? You bi? No. Well, okay. So you support us? Yes. Well, why? Because you're oppressed." Apparently, I don't quite understand, but apparently that pisses them off to no end. I'm not kidding. Hearing these men go and have these women tell them that they are oppressed, whether if they say no, I'm not, they will argue with them and start screaming at them, telling them they are being oppressed. They just don't know they're being oppressed. And oh dear God, it was. Honestly, I cannot think of a reason why a gay man would not choose to become MGTOW, unless he identifies as a woman. If he identifies as a woman, yeah, go ahead, go to the gynocentric hell of your own creation. But nah, most gay men I know can't stand that shit. I actually know oddly enough, I actually know a fair number of gay cops. And one biker that all of them have dated. I'm not kidding. It's the weirdest thing I've seen. This one biker has dated all 7 of these cops. It's just really weird. I met Steve during when I was going and studying all the feminist Wicca bullshit. I know he didn't date them all at the same time, dude. It was over the course of a few years. No, they are not women, dude. Oh my God, dude. Speaking of that. This one dude went on this 3-hour rant about how all these women are fucking whores, and how no gay man that in the right mind, I shit you not, this bitch had the cops called on her because she arranged a 45-man gangbang for her 45th birthday, and her husband was just sitting there watching it. The cops went and walked in at servicer or participant number 31. All right, she got to number 31 before the cops got there, and they only got there because they were being charged $20 to go and pay for the gangbang organizer. I mean, this is apparently an actual job now for some of these PUAs to go and handle a bunch of these women as they are going and reaching middle age, and no one wants to fuck them. They got to go to a gangbang promoter and pay them to get 45 guys to convince 45 guys to come in and fuck her for her 45th birthday. And she thinks that she's entitled to that. Because she's a liberated woman. She shouldn't be confined to one. Like, what the fuck? You can't make this shit up. And you know, if the man ever complained, what was it? There was this law over in Rome. All right, there were a couple of them. There was this one law, and I couldn't believe it. Is that if a woman goes out and sleeps around on her husband with more than 5 men, right? So if she goes out and screws five guys, it's her fault. But but if she goes to an orgy and screws more than 5 guys total in her lifetime, right? During the time she's married, so effectively you go to an orgy. At that point in time, the husband could then get arrested for being a pimp and not paying his pimp tax. I am not fucking shitting you, dude. So all a woman had to do to go and take all of her husband's belongings was go out and cheat on him. You can't live with them, you can't live without them. I'm not fucking joking. That's where the saying came from. That and the bachelor tax imposed by Octavian, or Caesar Augustus. No kidding, man. It is just fucking nasty. No fault divorce destroyed Sparta. No fault divorce destroyed Athens. No fault divorce destroyed Babylon. No fault it actually originated in Babylon. Well, as far as we know. No fault divorce destroyed Rome. I mean, what the hell? How many times are we going to do this? Every time no fault divorce is imposed, you eventually have social breakdown. Anytime, and that's one of those sick things about the religious right. They are right about the whole family values thing, but they're right for the wrong reason. They think they are right because Bible says. What they're not realizing is what that Bible is saying is, dude, we fucked up. This is as to what we found that worked in this scenario in this book in the Bible. And then as things change, well, this is what worked in this era. This is what worked in this era. Don't make these mistakes. but we stopped looking at it from a critical perspective. But that's the thing, though. We've never had this much data. We've never had enough data to understand human chemistry. We haven't had enough data to understand psychology and sociology. We are just now beginning to understand epigenetics and the effect our environment has on our own active daily genetic code. And as a result of, for the first time, this knowledge is disseminated across huge swaths of the population. It's not going to take us 1,000 years to recover. It'll take about 30. See, I don't expect. Actually, you probably will make it past 80. See, that's one of those weird things. If you look at the map, kind of, and you look at MGTOW, all right? MGTOW is this wild card. MGTOW can actually have, in this sense, because it is so widespread across the globe, all right, and because news of it can hit every female ear and make every woman cry and wish she had a giant box of bonbons. All right. See, at this point in time, we can smack him with MGTOW. Bitch, I don't need you. Artificial womb.
artificial insemination. We're more stable. Women are more violent. Women abuse children. Women rape. Like every turn, we bitch smack them on every damn issue. And as a result, it is currently changing the culture as we speak. It could go and lead us instead of into a quick collapse, which is what we were looking at. It could become a long, slow collapse. Now, there are good things and bad things about that. But with a long, slow collapse, that allows certain people, in this case it would be a MGTOW, to go and set up our own communities. I don't know if you ever watched the show Eureka on Sci-Fi Channel, but we could effectively do that. We could build our own MGTOW communities where we advance science. We go and help young men who are in college right now. We offer them a job, a roof, food, place to stay, and all. The only thing is that the MGTOW community as a whole owns 10% of all the proceeds from any patent that they come up with. All right, that would be the creation of a knowledge-based culture, and honestly, that is the only way I can see the human race surviving. Is if we go to a knowledge-based culture. We are already moving away from an item-based culture or a material-based culture. That is because of the advent of 3D printing. Because I could print headphones, I could print a plate, I can print a book. Items themselves are not going to have any intrinsic value because anybody can have them as long as they have a 3D printer and the raw materials. We are democratizing the manufacturing process. With that ushers in what Michio Kaku calls the age of abundance. As long as you have access to the raw materials, you can have anything you want. So the days of Sony and these big companies are pretty much over. I mean, over the next 20 to 30 years, they're going to go extinct. Or at least that's the way I see it. And as such, we're going to have to move towards a knowledge-based economy. The world as a whole is not geared up towards that. So yes, it will crash. It will go into a depression. But as MGTOW communities, if we organize them early on, we can essentially establish a small foundation just on a small scale and set it up like a city-state. Just pockmark it across the world and advance the human race at light speed. That's one of my dreams, anyways. But yeah, if it goes slow enough, we have that chance. And also, if it goes slow enough, all right, this is where you come in and making it past 80. All right, is that if you can make it to about 2028, or no, if you can make it to 2024, you have a 87% chance of making it to like 2040. All right, and that is assuming you are of about 50 or 45 years of age at the moment. All right, if you can make it to 2040, you have an 85% chance of making it to 2063. And if you have a chance, if you can make it 2063, you actually have an 89% chance of making it to 2081. If you make it to 2081, you have a 97% chance of making it to about 500 years old. So, and I'm not talking like an old decrepit body either. I'm actually talking your body, just longer telomeres. Oh, speaking of which, if you have any hidden wisdom teeth up in your jawbone, get them removed and stored. Those contain your own embryonic stem cells, your original coding. Just something to keep in mind. If you're ever looking at something like that, and if that has happened, if you are one of those people, then you have an option of having a brand new body.
So, and I'm not talking like an old decrepit body.
Cool. So you actually have your own stem cell reservoir. Dude, you have a chance of living the next 600 years in the body of a 34-year-old, man. I am not kidding. See, I mean, come on, man. See, a lot of that is going to, see, our ability to go and regenerate tissue as of right now is actually really cool. We are currently printing bladders. We're actually working on printing lungs next, which is incredibly intricate. I mean, the lung is, I don't know how much you know about the lungs, but it gets down to all these like little ganglia. And these little things, like your lungs are coated with all these little things, like the little bumps on your tongue, right, up front, but they're even smaller. So it gives your lungs immense surface area, which is why smoking is so hazardous, because it goes and puts tar on top of those little ganglia, and it coats them so that way you don't actually inhale as much oxygen, or you don't absorb as much oxygen, which is why you calm down when smoking. You are depriving your brain of oxygen. And so, anyways, trying to print that and trying to or print the scaffolding for it is insane. I mean, you got to get that down to like the micron level. Which is hard. I mean, really, really hard. But we're working on it right now. Honestly, heart muscle is easier than lung tissue. We've actually printed scaffolding and have already grown a human heart from straight cells from a donor. So, cool. You'll now be able to go and swap them out like your car. But yeah, you're probably gonna want to look into a drug called TA-65. Actually, I'll get you a link about that one. Actually, I don't know. Does your family have a history of cancer? Well, I gotta ask, because the reason why cancer cells don't die is because okay, then you're fine. Sweet. TA. In case you can't tell, I read a lot. But yeah, this stuff is really expensive, okay? I warn you now. But you're buying it from the lab that is creating it. It really is created in small batches at the lab. This is one of those things where I read a lot of science journals, so I know what labs are making what. Which, by the way, one of my plans is to become a full-time RVer and go and line the roof of my RV and the awnings and this special solar panel. You can actually make it like a thin film, so it's nice and thin and flexible, so it can roll up into the awning. But it has an efficiency rate of 40%. Right now, it just came out a little bit ago, so dude. But yeah, here we go. But yeah, this drug here, all right, is that it coats and caps the telomeres on your genome. You get older because the telomeres on your DNA or on your chromosomes shorten. This puts it back on. When they gave this treatment to mice that have a similar immune system to humans, right? They gave it to mice that were equivalent to about 65 years of age. Yeah, exactly. Every time they go and lose it on the end. This replaces it. It actually reversed arthritis. It reversed cognitive dysfunction. They regained muscle mass and bone density. It actually reverses it. But if you have a chance of cancer, that is why cancer cells do not die, because they have very long long telomeres that don't really break down very well. That's why cancer cells are so hard to kill, because of telomeres. But if you don't have to worry about cancer, dude, this is the thing for you. But yeah, this actually goes and protects it. I don't know if you've ever heard of this stuff or what it does, but you're actually, if you click on the link, you can see it from the lab. Quite possibly. Give me a second. Let me check my records. I spend a lot of time with science journals. So if it's popped up on Science Daily, I probably have it stored. Or Phys.org or American Psychology or American Astronomy. I really like psychology. Macmillan. No, I haven't. No, not what I was going for. Honestly, I was thinking you were referring amyloid beta, which is a protein byproduct of Alzheimer's. For a while, they were thinking it was. Actually, they're still treating it as a cause of Alzheimer's, but no, it's actually a symptom of a waste a failure of the waste removal system, which is actually caused by a lack of micronutrients. Ah! So if you can go and get enough of the nutrients in your system to go and flush out all the amyloid beta protein out of your brain, you don't have to worry about Alzheimer's or dementia. B7, yeah, that I have. Yeah, I get a lot of that from fish, dude. I spent 2 years in Japan and I got a real taste for fish and curry, man. Where I live right now, I can have fresh imported fish, wild-caught salmon, and mackerel gone in. I can have it over here within 30 hours of being caught. I got a cousin over in Alaska and fisherman, and then I have a cousin over in Germany, Air Force. And Germany keeps their food really, really clean. But yeah, I can get it. I get my stuff shipped in mostly. It sounds expensive, but honestly, they're just sent in piggybacking on other things. And since my former brother-in-law works at the airport, he just drops it off. I don't really have any shipping costs. I pay them for the cost that it costs them to buy it or to go and get it. Bitter almond apples. No, I eat almonds, but I don't eat the apricot seeds. No. No. Then nope. Nothing to do with that. Actually, this is actually going really long. Do you mind if I take us off the air and we can just continue this? Because this thing is really starting to ramble. All I gotta do is put on stop broadcast. All right, cool. Well, thank you for joining us, and ole.